Hello everyone, welcome to Arcadia. This is Arcadia Unboxed, my series of video for unboxing miniatures and sharing that experience with you. I just always love that feeling of opening a box of miniatures or a pack of Pokemon cards and never knowing what was inside, but feeling really excited to find out and hoping always that there's something interesting. And so far we've opened pretty interesting things here. We got Kirin from a few boxes ago. We got really cool miniatures last time, a Boggle, a Kobold Inventor. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the Fangs and Talons collection so far, but we have one last box to open. So if this is your first time, what's basically going to happen is me unboxing these miniatures while I talk about the monsters, possible strategies to use them, or interesting ways to insert them in your campaign, mostly about lore of the monster itself, while at the same time just unboxing miniatures and having fun with it. It's basically an excuse for me to hang out and to open miniatures and to be happy. So let's cut to the chase and open this box. First miniature, as always, I open the small ones first, and it's another Kobold Inventor, but a different one. Oh, this is interesting. So let me actually have the other Kobold Inventor here. It's been lying in my desk for almost a month. Look at it. They are very different concepts. One has what I believe is the Rot Grob pot on the right hand, and the other one has this Scorpion pole. Last time we saw the list of attacks that the Kobold Inventor had, and some of them were quite hilarious, but one of them was the Scorpion on a pole or something like that. So this is the Kobold that actually has that pole. This is great, and I love this new fun way that WizKids found to not only save on their models, on their casts and molds for miniatures, because I guess those must be pretty expensive, but also allowing us to some more variety of miniatures. For example, having the same model for an NPC miniature to have two possible sets of weapons, one with one sword and a shield, and another one with two short swords, for example. I love kobolds. How can you not love kobolds? Tiny little dragons that think they run the world. Second miniature. It's a transparent one, I think. I hope not. I really don't like transparent miniatures. What is this? Is this an invisible stalker? It's a Skulk. I gotta say, I'm not particularly fond of this miniature. It's very, very simplistic for me, but I'm also not a very big fan of Skulks. Skulks have a very interesting and creepy concept, but I think it was poorly executed. The idea is that Skulks are souls of travelers that got trapped or that got lost in the Shadowfell, and they wandered for so long that they lost every sense of identity, of self, even to the point that they became invisible, and that's why this miniature is translucent. And the idea is that they are invisible, but there are ways to circumvent that invisibility. I think that those ways of circumventing that invisibility are very, very far-fetched. There's one they can be seen as a ghastly form if they are illuminated by the candle made from the fat of a corpse or something like that. It's really weird. You can also see the reflection on the mirror, kind of like the reverse of vampires. And the coolest one, the only thing that I think saves the concept of a Skulk is that kids can see it under the age of 10. And there's even this quote of Mordenkainen in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes that goes something like this. Often kids have invisible imaginary friends, but sometimes those invisible friends aren't imaginary, because those are Skulks. That's a creepy, fun concept, but I think it could have been more explored in the D&D lore. So yeah, I guess it's not a bad thing. It can be a cool monster to use in a low-level campaign or in a one-shot. It is a 1/2 CR monster, so there's that. Let us get one more miniature. There is one smaller miniature left to get. If you don't know, these boxes of WizKids usually have always 4 miniatures, 3 small and 1 large. Is this a Vampiric Mist? Yes, it is a Vampiric Mist. Okay, now this is a cool concept, and I think they nailed the miniature quite all right. This effect, it's probably difficult for you to see because there's nothing to show how translucent the miniature is, but to me it looks like there are these veins that if you look at them in the right direction, it feels like they are kind of in the middle of these, in this translucent cloud. Now we go from one monster that I think is not really that big of a concept to one that I absolutely love. Vampiric mists are basically creatures, are basically remnants of vampires that were denied the opportunity to go back to their burial sites to reform after being defeated. What remains is basically that mist form that the vampire assumes when fleeing to their burial sites, and eventually the body dissolves or something, and all that remains is this cloud that hungers for blood and is deprived of the intelligence that the vampire previously had. So they wonder, they are attracted to blood, and they prey on, if I recall correctly, the draining of blood that they provoke is not painful, so they feed on sleeping victims. But the visual effect is pretty cool. So if you happen to pull off this one in front of your players, it's a really gruesome and awesome, honestly, visual idea, is that they make the blood of their victims to ooze out of every pore of their eyes. It's something very bloody, very horror movie-esque, and they're not extremely strong. I think they are CR 3 or 4, but they do have that life drain ability that drops you to, that kills you instantly if your hit point maximum goes down to 0. So this is a cool monster. This collection also has a few undead. And now, finally, the last miniature of Fangs and Talons that I'm ever going to open, at least for now. I mean, I think we could do this again, but I don't see why we wouldn't just jump to another collection. I didn't see it yet, but it looks humanoid. I'm willing to bet Fomorian. Let's see. I'm really sad that I didn't get the Aboleth, though. One of the miniatures that I was just looking more forward to get was an Aboleth, because that's another creature that I absolutely love. But we got the Kirin, which is pretty cool, and I was totally wrong. This is not a Fomorian at all. I don't even know if there are Fomorians in this collection. It was just a hunch. It is a wind elemental, or an air elemental, you would say, and it really is an improvement from the previous air elemental, which I don't know what collection belonged to, which looked just like a really, really sad cloud. This one, it looks like a living tornado, and it is a normal air elemental, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, this one I like a lot more, and it has an angry face. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can show you to the second camera here. If you turn it this way, you can see that it has an angry face. Really cool pose, really cool texture to it. You can really feel the wind whirling around and twisting and enveloping all this creature's body like ropes almost. It's really a really cool pose, a really cool concept. I love this wind elemental. We got a lot of transparent miniatures in this box. We got the wind elemental, we got the Skulk, and we got the vampiric mist. The only thing that is actually opaque is this little guy, the Kobold inventor. That is all from the Fangs and Talons expansion. I really had a great time opening these boxes with you. I also had quite some interesting monsters in some of the boxes that I opened. I got a red dragon, a dire troll. There were a lot of really cool monsters in there. I think this really might be my favorite expansion for D&D of all time. However, this guy continues to be my crown jewel of this collection so far. It's just damn too pretty. I love the mixed dragon and unicorn feel that it gives. It's really, really cool. Just an awesome collection. I can honestly recommend wholeheartedly the Fangs and Talons expansion. I'm planning of opening more miniatures in this series, possibly some more third-party publisher miniatures. We opened the Mimic box a few months ago. the Mimibox being a company that produces 3D printed miniatures, the actual sculptors of the miniatures, I'm not quite sure who they are. I'd like to do some more of those things and to actually give you more my reviews on it, and to just give you a feel of what you can possibly get in the market out there. I would like to imagine that by the end of all those reviews, you'd get a lot of cool places to get miniatures from and a lot of good recommendations, and also a lot of places where not to get miniatures from. But since I only buy what I basically like, unless I'm seriously mistaken about something or I make a mistake, you probably won't see many negative reviews. Still, thank you very much for sticking up with me and to enjoying this moment with me. I really enjoy making these videos and I hope that you enjoy them too. If you do, please let me know in the comments down below. That way I'll make more and you'll be happy. Also, stop by my social media pages at @TFirstArcadian in Twitter for my ramblings about every kind of stuff in the world, and at The First Arcadian in TikTok and Instagram for my own artwork. And also some D&D stuff along the way. In the next unboxing, we'll open... I don't know. I guess you'll have to wait and find out. I hope to see you in that video.